What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing our Monday Night Raw review for the 26th of June, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong, but Monday Night Raw. This is the last Monday Night Raw before Money in the Bank, and there was already a lot of worry going in. Obviously, there were a little bit of rumors that Vince was gonna, you know, tamper with the show a little bit like he did on SmackDown, and SmackDown ended up being sort of mid a little bit. But then, another notable wrestling account said that we were supposed to get a Seth Rollins Mello segment, Sammy versus Gunther. So I was coming into this show, honestly, it created a little bit more intrigue for me about how nobody knows what's gonna happen on the show. So the show ended up starting with Dom and the Women's World Champion Rhea in the middle of the ring, and the crowd already was not. They didn't want to hear Dom to start Monday Night Raw. They were booing his ass, and Rhea was like, "Please let him speak, let him speak." And then inevitably, Cody Rhodes showed up, and Cody Rhodes just looked across the ring, saying that Dom was hiding, saying that you always have Rhea to protect you. Rhea was like, "Nah, don't touch my man," sort of stuff like that. And you guys may have seen my tweets. If some of you guys know my Twitter, you probably seen the tweet about, what if Cody Rhodes just hit a crossroads on Rhea here? It would have actually lifted up the segment a little bit, but I know that wasn't going to happen. But, yeah, Dom didn't really do anything. And the segment ended with, Cody sort of shooing Dom away, pretty much. That was the opening segment. Next up, we had a banger, Shinsuke versus Ricochet. Now, I saw this in person 3 weeks ago. I was privileged until I wasn't privileged because Bronson Reed ended up interfering in the match. Ended up causing a DQ, but we finally got a full Shinsuke versus Ricochet match, and it was a banger. Both men went back and forth. Ricochet was doing great aerial stuff. Shinsuke was doing his style. But in the end, Ricochet hit that, I forgot what the move is called. I honestly do. But in the end, Ricochet won. And a lot of people are saying Shinsuke buried. I didn't know that being put on TV every week, being in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and predominantly getting a lot of TV time means you're getting buried. But I guess the IWC knows a lot about wrestling, they know. And I don't really get this because Ricochet has been disrespected for years. Ricochet is one of the best high-flying talents out there in wrestling. And you're telling me that people think that Shinsuke is getting buried of one loss? Whatever. Ricochet ended up winning. Great match. But I really don't understand why people are having a problem with this. But next up, we had Matt Riddle get interviewed backstage or whatever, confronting Kaiser. And then Kaiser laughed at Riddle wanting Gunther and Money in the Bank. And we knew before this that Gunther and Riddle was happening in Money in the Bank. So this was like, okay, kind of just get to it already. And Gunther ended up accepting the challenge. We got the match of Money in the Bank, which some people may have a problem with. I think Gunther versus Matt Riddle is going to be a banger, to be honest with you. Though I'm not the hugest fan of Matt Riddle's character. Gunther just stomped on Matt Riddle's foot, pretty much, this segment, giving him that little indication of what's to come in Money in the Bank. Next up, we had Raquel versus Ronda, which is always interesting. And here come the annoying idiots with no life, spamming the Vince GIFs and stuff. But, it was Raquel versus Ronda, and as you may have assumed, the match made me want to put my head in a bowl of cereal that has milk in it. It was hard to look at, though. It was always great to see Liv Morgan. I mean, Raquel and Liv are Raw superstars. They got dropped at the Raw. The match went bad. Ronda was going to win either way. They weren't going to have the tag team champions lose. And I guess this result of Ronda winning gives some hope that Raquel and Liv are going to win at Money in the Bank this Sunday. But or this Saturday, but I don't suspect that Liv and Raquel are going to beat Ronda and Shayna. I'm assuming that Ronda and Shayna are going to have a decent run with the titles and maybe even show up on NXT. Next up, we had Seth Rollins come out. I wasn't really expecting a Seth Rollins segment, but here we are. I thought it was just gonna be a backstage segment. To be honest with you, I didn't suspect they'd do it out there in the ring. But Seth Rollins came out. The crowd in Georgia was great, and I forgot to say this earlier. This is Georgia. This is the home state for Cody Rhodes. So the crowd went nuts for Cody Rhodes. They went nuts for Seth Rollins. These are two of the biggest baby faces in the WWE. And the Usos and because of the Usos being baby faces, the Usos are skyrocketing right near there too. But Seth Rollins was basically coming at Finn Balor. Seth Rollins was roasting Finn Balor, basically saying I'm better than him. History shows that I'm better than you. Pretty much that's what Seth was saying in a longer context. But also, Carmelo Hayes is in the house on Raw, one of the best NXT superstars, and I think will go down as one of the best NXT superstars to ever grace the yellow and gold, or whatever you want to call it now. He obviously, at the recording of this video, Carmelo Hayes will have a match tonight for the NXT Championship against Baron Corbin, which I will be tuning into. But Carmelo Hayes was there. I love seeing Carmelo Hayes on the main roster. And also, hopefully, we see Braun Breaker soon, which I think we will probably see him soon-ish. But Carmelo Hayes showed up on Raw, and Finn Balor came out and assaulted Seth Rollins, which we suspected was going to happen after Seth called out Finn for being basically a pussy and not, coming out there. And Finn brought a chair with him because, he wants to absolutely brutalize Seth. Even though he's got a match for them, Finn wants to absolutely decapitate Seth before Money in the Bank even starts. And Finn was targeting the ribs, which are injured from, I believe, the NXT attack. I believe that Finn did to Seth, but when Finn was going to go finish Seth off, that sounds weird, but, I'll take whatever. Carmelo Hayes grabbed the chair from Finn Balor. An absolute perfect moment. I popped for this. This was such a good moment. Carmelo Hayes saving Seth Rollins. Just great storyline building, great work overall. And Finn Balor, and this would lead to Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins later in the night, which blew my mind. I thought Finn versus Carmelo Hayes was going to happen like maybe another month down the line. Maybe they do in NXT. I wasn't expecting them to do it like, hey, we're going to do this tonight. But yeah, Seth Rollins came out of the brawl with Finn Balor with blood on his face, which is a good touch. I don't know if that's odd. I don't know if he cut himself or whatever. But, this was easily, like, a perfect segment on Raw. Perfect. Next up, Dom had a match, and it was against whoever Dom wanted, which is weird. But he chose Akira Tozawa, which I liked, because I think Akira Tozawa is great. I've seen him wrestle in person on Main Event. He's actually really damn good. And the match, Akira Tozawa got, 1 minute of his offensive arsenal before Rhea interrupted, and Dom ended up winning. Pretty much everything that we expect from a Dom match, it happened versus Akira Tozawa. Next up, we had the Women's Money in the Bank Summit, which is one of the things I was most looking forward to. And they were not on the ladders, yet they just pushed all the ladders in the ring. But we're gonna form like a semicircle, we're at recess semicircle here. And Io ended up saying, This was what I got out of this segment mainly. Io looked at the camera. She's like, every woman for themselves. Looked at Bayley. Looked at the camera. You know what that means. Io doesn't give a shit about Bayley's chances of winning. Io wants that briefcase for herself. It doesn't matter. And also Bayley was like, Bayley was like, I won the Money in the Bank contract. Zoe Stark spoke a little bit. Trish just said thank you, Trish, for the most part of this segment. But Io's hilarious. I mean, Io just nailed what she needed to do in this segment, and it's awesome. Bayley did what she needed to do. But Zelina Vega, she was not letting up. Zelina Vega, she was roasting everybody. She was making fun of Bayley, basically saying, Bailey's begging for attention at this point, basically saying that Bailey's worthless. And same thing for Io Sky, but yet I don't tolerate Io slander. Becky Lynch really said nothing. I mean, what is there to say? Becky Lynch has done more than any of the women in the ring. It's not being disrespectful. It's facts. I mean, the only other person that could confront Becky about being greater is Trish Stratus. Which, even still, though, Becky has just done so damn much in the company. But Zelina Vega, she is my undercard to win this match. She really is. I think Zelina is great on the mic. I think she's great in LWO. And I think she's a good wrestler. I don't understand where all this hate comes from about her as a wrestler. Because what I've seen, she's really good. So, great thing overall. They also brawled afterwards, which, obviously was going to happen. Io did her signature moonsault to everybody on the outside. And also, Becky climbed the ladder to hold the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, Becky actually took the briefcase off from the hinges. Which tells me, and hopefully tells me, that Becky is not going to win Money in the Bank. It should be Io Sky or Zelina Vega. But next up, we had Gunther versus Sami Zayn, which is basically a PLE pay-per-view match on Raw. Match was a banger. Sammy was going back and forth with Gunther. KO losing his shit on commentary. Kaiser and Vinci getting involved. And in the end, Gunther won because Vinci used his crutches to attack Sammy. Really perfect. I mean, Gunther should not lose before Money in the Bank. I mean, Sammy's not defending the titles at Money in the Bank, so Sammy's all free to lose here. Great match. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat. I also saw Gunther vs. KO in person, which is one of my favorite matches I've ever seen in person. This one was a banger as well with Sami Zayn. Next up, Carmelo Hayes and Finn Balor time. Melo's entrance theme is so good, man. I mean, I got chills when hearing Carmelo Hayes' theme. I've supported Carmelo Hayes since he's come into NXT, and to see him come down to Monday Night Raw and get the crowd reaction that he got, it was awesome. And they didn't change anything. They didn't have Carmelo Hayes do anything different than what he was doing. They let him have his full entrance thing, full gear and everything. And the match between Carmelo and Balor was a banger. Carmelo put on a good display, which was the main point. It's to showcase to the people that only watch main roster content, hey, this guy is good enough to be here. He can go toe-to-toe with a guy that's competing for a world championship. And in the end, after a banger, Finn Balor won. One coup de grace did it. And, Carmelo Hayes came out of this looking very strong. And Finn Balor picked up a pretty big win against the NXT champion. So overall, this was just perfectly executed by Mr. Papa H, because this is not a Vince thing. Next up, Cody Rhodes showed his dog, Pharaoh, first Pharaoh appearance on WWE television. As you guys may know, Cody Rhodes' dog is like a celebrity in himself. So seeing Pharaoh on Raw was really, really good. Pharaoh would be also a perfect manager to go down to the ring with Cody Rhodes versus Dom on Saturday. But next up, we had Cody versus Damian Priest, which was a weird main event. I love Priest. He's underrated. I love Cody. I just felt like this wasn't main event caliber for the card that we had tonight. I felt like Carmelo Hayes and Balor could have been the main event somehow. But, Cody Rhodes ended up winning. Priest did well, but Cody Rhodes won. And pretty much the show ended with Cody Rhodes on top. Dom hit Cody Rhodes with a cheap shot, but Cody still ended the show on top. Overall, this was the best Monday Night Raw in a while. Great Monday Night Raw. Great 3-hour show. People don't like 3-hour shows, but they passed the vibe check with this. It was a good Monday Night Raw. And with that being said, that is pretty much the Monday Night Raw review, and I will see you guys in the next one.